The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 30th day of March, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, she's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. It's your hump day of the week, Sherry. You're smiling. Why are you always smiling? What you so happy about? I mean, I know you're seeing me, but gee.
Then my face should be like this.
Oh. Is that what you're saying my face looks like? Really?
No. It's Wednesday. I'm happy that it's Wednesday, and it's one day closer to the weekend. So, but I was happy having my day off yesterday and being in the audience, which was really cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about Leanna real fast before we get into today's convo. So, she's so quick with it too, right? She's like really, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
So when Shara's got the day off and thinking, smooth, nobody gonna pick on my height or anything, and then Leanna just comes along
through.
And, I'm just like, what did I do to her? Like, I thought we were good, and now I leave the show and I'm like, got my platforms on and try to reach the door and stuff.
Well, because you say things to her backstage and you think that she's not gonna then come with it when we come on air and stuff like that. Jamal, come on now.
Yeah, okay.
Broad shoulders. Then make me come over there and slap you.
Hey, I was just gonna say, folks, hey, look, no matter how small or quiet they may be, there are consequences here. And she makes sure that I face the consequences in front of all of you. Anyway. Apparently I'm short, not because I didn't have my growth juice, but because of that secondhand smoke you all were making me inhale. That's what I learned from Leanna yesterday. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today as we welcome back after a long hiatus, our movement moment friend, Tamara Richardson. We're going to be talking about aging gracefully, and I like this conversation for some reason. And no offense, ladies, don't get mad at me, but men and women do age differently. So I'm well, y'all go through different things, men go through stuff. So I'm sure we'll get into that conversation. Age, race wise, we age differently. I think that's fair to say too. The Daily Play is music today. So Sherry was so eager last week with Leanna.
She ain't gonna give me Britney Spears this week.
Oh, I think it's just as easy. It's probably newer.
Okay.
It'll test your knowledge. But folks, we have a very important conversation today, And this involves your money. Oh. Yeah, not mine. Well, yes, it does. I do pay taxes. But basically, the GenCom company looks like they've secured investment to renovate the Fairmont Southampton. And depending on what report you want to believe, it looks like a $50 million guarantee was given to the GenCom group and also supported by the Bermuda Industrial Union. They backed it. So the question of the morning, without even going into too many details, obviously the MP Christopher Famous, his whole point before that comment was that it's going to create a certain amount of jobs for Bermudians. But we really want to know this. How do you feel, right? how do you feel about your tax-paying dollars being given to private companies in the name of jobs? Well, before we even go there, let me find something, Sherry. I want to find something because I actually purchased a book. Where is it? It's well, it was right here. I
Yeah,
had
because
it.
I did some investigation myself.
I purchased a book recently. Oh, here it is. I purchased this book, right? And I'm not promoting it, but they ain't paying me. But it's called Field of Schemes: How the Great Stadium Swindle Turns Public Money into Private Profit.
Mm-hmm.
And I Googled, well, I didn't Google because I follow a lot of sports pages, that in Buffalo, New York, right?
Haha.
That's the one you checked out?
Well, that's the one that ended up being an example for what's going on. So go ahead.
Yeah, so Buffalo, New York, right? This titles the bill's grossly unethical stadium deal will burden the people it purports to unite. Now, Buffalo has an NFL team, right? And they basically, what these billionaires do is if they don't get these new stadium deals, they threaten to take the teams to another city or state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a case of using the taxpayers' dollars, right? Now, how they do it, folks, how they do it is they say, well, we're going to create jobs. It's going to be a boost for the economy. And so, you know, if you don't give it to us, another city or state will, and we'll just take the team there. And I've never been to Buffalo, but something tells me it's not much up there to do, right? I'm just saying, it doesn't seem like no Bermuda, you know, up in Buffalo. Now, unless your thing is being in the snow or inside the house with a fireplace lit, and maybe that's just my immaturity and lack of interest in traveling to some place called Buffalo any time of the year. But that's another story.
Yes.
But Field of Schemes is a book that I purchased because I want to read about this. Because for me, I've had an issue with taxpayers' dollars going toward billionaires in the name of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I've been had an issue with that, but I'm not trying to influence you. Well, how do you feel about your tax-paying dollars being given to private companies in the name of jobs? That's the question of the morning.
Well, just like yourself, Jamal, in looking into some information about it, and it just only confirmed what it is that I already believed, which was that government can't always pick winners, right? Or it becomes a popularity contest about who you're going to pick and how they can benefit the government in the end. The As I've said before, the dangling little girl piece that's being always hung in front of us is that it creates more jobs. Well, more jobs for whom? And are those jobs always successful at the end? No. We're going to create 900 jobs, then that turns into 500, then that turns into 400. And who are those jobs created for? Because for regular Bermudians, or jobs that most locals will apply for and be able to get, aren't always the jobs that are going to be put out there for us to have. So no, it doesn't benefit us at all. The government cannot pick winners, as they say.
Well, it's interesting because if one of the things that came out yesterday is you saw what happened. Bermuda Carnival, I guess, limited. They had said that there's no carnival going to happen, which I don't believe is necessarily true because the bands are still doing their thing. So it looks like drama over there.
Right.
But I can't confirm this, but if I remember correctly, I know that government had underwritten a lot of costs for them or sponsored or gave them a grant previously.
Mm-hmm. I think you're correct in saying that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, audience. One of the challenges with that for me is when you're relying on government money for anything, it's not sustainable. When you're not a billionaire. When you are a billionaire, to me, it comes across extremely unethical to use public money to fund private enterprise, especially if the only reward is jobs for the economy. Well, let's think about this job. There's a thing called underemployment. Are these jobs going to be enough for people to feed their families? Are these jobs going to be enough for people to be able to live? To be able to live based on what the economy of the day is? It's all good saying that, oh, we're keeping people employed. but at what expense? Are they still going to need assistance?
It's all good for filling out an application for you to get in front of government, um, to say that this is, you just filling in boxes. And this is what we talked about before, the transparency piece. We never know the transparency piece. We never see that, right? So if we don't see that, we don't know what's happening behind the doors. We can guarantee you 900 jobs. And then as time goes on, oh, well, this happened and that happened. We're going to have to push it back to 500. And then everything starts scaling down to what the private entity really wants and is really able to get, while government, the taxpayers, are fronting the bill. And what ends up happening, we just have a great little ribbon cutting ceremony, everyone's smiling, and the government's like, look what we did for you guys. Absolutely nothing.
Don't forget the Goslin's rum on the roof as well. Folks, what are your thoughts? It's your money. It's your money. How do you feel about your tax-paying dollars being given to private companies, private entities in the name of job creation? Like, how do you feel about it? At the end of the day, should private companies be given public funds in the name of jobs? Like, I would love to hear how the audience feels about that. It's your money. It's your money. These are the things that, again, it's, someone asked a question yesterday, Sherry, about whether or not this is different from Caroline Bay, right? What's the difference? Yeah. Well, to be fair to the government, there is a difference. Caroline Bay was a new build.
Right.
Fairmont Southampton is the structure already exists.
Right. It's a renovation.
So it's a renovation rather than a new build. So I think that's the biggest difference, where a new build, you're wondering is the work going to start? Is it going to finish? A renovation, it's pretty much the structure's already there. It's an easier process, one would think. But what are your thoughts? This is your private money. Now, you could say, hold on, this money could be better spent on our roads. This money could be better spent on our education. This money could be better spent on paying down our debt. This money could be spent more on a third pillar, right? Should we be caving? Is this part of the compromise? Now, let's be honest. Bermuda's not unique. Concessions are given. It's a competitive world out there. And concessions are given everywhere. Again, the Buffalo Bills, that team, the city had to concede. Again, if a team, let's say someone in a southern state with beautiful weather, they're looking for an NFL team, right? San Antonio, maybe, right? That could be a better proposition than Buffalo, New York.
Right.
And they may have to offer a bit more to keep that team there and that stadium.
It's just annoying to say the least, because government, as I said, it's a popularity contest, and or whom can help us behind the back door, feed government with funds, or be what they call boosters, and all of this money related situations. Let me just put it that way. And it ends up being this situation where, again, Bermudians, the people, are ended up with, as you said, underemployment jobs, or jobs that are not fitting for what it is that we can offer, because we can always offer more. When you look at the top tier of jobs, most times, unfortunately, it's not always Bermudians that are in those jobs.
Well, and that's true. General managers of the hotels, they probably are likely from somewhere else. I don't disagree. A lot of the jobs are not filled, but there still are a lot of jobs. I guess my question, like I said to Sancha yesterday, is this is 2022. Does a hotel still need that many people to operate like it once did? I know one of the issues in the US, especially in the state of Florida, is filling certain jobs now, restaurants and hotels. So a lot of hotels are now going without daily room service. Not room service, thing where they clean the room, that thing.
Yeah, you got it right.
Housekeeping. But are hotels still going to be needing that many people. You know what they say, 800 jobs. Like, is it still necessary? I don't quite know. There's so
Eight-
many things. Companies are looking at ways to generate more revenue and increase profit. And if they know they can do that with less employees, what's going to stop Fairmont Southampton when they reopen from doing that? There's no
Well,
guarantee this is going to create the amount of jobs that it once had.
no, and again, it's headlines, right? 800 jobs, gonna be created for the local Bermudians for Fairmont South. It's all of that, you know. And then when it comes to the end of it, it's like, oh, we can only do 500, or we only need really 500 because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I don't trust numbers like that. Ebony Souza says, rock and a hard place. We need employment opportunities, associated revenues, but public purse for private ventures has never sat right with me. I'm with you, Ebony. I am, because I think it's one of those things where my word I choose to use is we have to compromise and concede somewhere.
Right.
We have to, because again, it's a competitive world. If other jurisdictions and destinations that Bermuda's competing with are given these same kind of breaks, we all know it's much more expensive to build a hotel in Bermuda. We all know that it's, the cost of doing business in Bermuda is much greater than other places. So we have to concede. We have to come back. I think the thing with St. Regis that the union was talking about is that bartenders, I believe, may be a protected class in Bermuda, but they may have been allowed to open without adhering to that rule or law, right? So that was something that the government had to concede on. Now, you have to be careful. You don't want to give up everything,
right,
for the sake of having something here that doesn't benefit your people. So very interesting, Ebony. Sam Cat Play says, the names of GemCom have been made public. She's asking, I would really like to know who they are. What if they are government ministers who are part of GenCom? That would be an absolute no. Interesting.
The shade.
I wonder what Sam Cat Place knows. I don't know. She goes on to say sensationalism of the numbers to bait us. And again, we can't get caught up in numbers. I concur. I think the goal here should be whether or not we should be giving actual money to private entities, taxpayers, your taxpayers' dollars. Is it gonna, could it benefit Bermuda long term? Yes. Am I more confident that this is a better deal than Caroline Bay? The only thing that makes me more confident is that the structure already exists.
Right.
That's the only thing that makes me more confident. But at the end of the day, it's still, a private entity that's being given money in the interest of benefiting Bermuda and Bermudians. And until we see it, I can completely understand those who don't want to believe it.
And I think we have to go back to what I believe Craig Simmons indicated in regards to entrepreneurs, local markets, and different entities to help foster the economy. And that's something that I don't feel like it's still being pushed forward as much as it is. In this bid for Southampton Princess, how many local entrepreneurs have been invited to sit down at the table and be a part of this agreement?
Well,
right, that many, Jamal.
That seat at the table, that good old seat at the table. Folks, what are your thoughts? It's your money. I mean, you waiting to speak to your MP when they come to the doorstep? What are your thoughts on your taxpaying dollars being given to private companies in the names of jobs? What are you thinking? Do you think, I completely get Ebony Souza saying, she understands that there needs to be some form of compromise on those, but the idea of private ventures being given public funds, it makes me uneasy, especially when, is there a guarantee that there's going to be, like, again, most people didn't find out until recently about the St. Regis situation and the what's it called, and the job classes not being protected there. So what's in there? And I think this is what Sherry was speaking about earlier about transparency. What's in there that protects these jobs for Bermudians, and what in these agreements gives Bermudians a hand up or a leg up.
And to continue that, Jamal, yeah, what is it? Are we guaranteed a general manager's position? Are we guaranteed manager positions of a certain areas? What are the guarantees for Bermudians of these jobs that you're creating? Okay, yes, locals are usually doing waitering, waitress, doormat, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But what about those persons that have skills that go beyond that as well? Are we guaranteed in those documents and contracts that a Bermudian must be put in those positions? And one that is, of course, applicable for that.
Yeah.
But we don't know that. We don't know
well,
that. We just, we're creating jobs.
Well, hey, look, maybe we'll find out when the Bermuda Industrial Union, when they open and, they come out and call for a parade. We'll find out what the details are then. I mean, that's how it usually happens. It's a playbook, right? Sam Cat Play says it sets a dangerous precedence. And as you said, it's no guarantees. I think in fairness, if the public funds are being used, I think it would be only right for the public to understand what it actually looks like, what's in there, like what are we giving up outside of the 50 million? What else are we giving up to get this going? And is it worth it? Is the value there? Let's bring Liana in. Wonder if Lee's got something on this. No short jokes today, Liana. I'll cut your mic, lady. Hey Lee, how are you?
Morning.
Wow. he might as well have just slapped you. I mean, really.
I'm gonna leave you alone because Sherry's back. The only reason I was, coming at you is because I had to keep the, brother sisterly love going. It was only right. I felt like I had to step into those shoes.
And you did wow.
Why, thank you, Sister Sherry. But Mal, hey, good morning. I gave you a compliment this morning behind backstage as well. So, I was there for it. But that's
you all can bring your compliments to the forefront if you want. You can say things in front of people.
Of course. Bermuda and listening public, I told Jamal that he looks great with his new haircut, although he told me he didn't get a haircut. It looks good.
So basically, folks, she tried to I'm not gonna say it because Will might be watching, but yeah, she tried to my hair doesn't grow anymore, so yeah, I'll leave it at that.
And I'm done.
Oh, silence. Lee, on that. You ready for the news?
I am, but I have to admit though, Mel, every time you were saying, this is not to make light of this very, great conversation that we're having right now, but every time you said it's your money, all I could think is use it when you need it. The J.G. Wentworth commercial. I was just like,
yes.
Every time you said it, but yeah.
I think that's probably where I got it from. I don't know. Some things just stay in your head. It's your money.
Yeah.
Shika real quickly. She says, "Do the jobs begin with the renovation work?" Trying to understand that. No, that was separate. So they said, if I'm not mistaken, and Chris Famous said it in his post, but it was like a number of jobs for the construction, and then a certain number of jobs for when the hotel opened. So it might have been 400 something jobs. Don't quote me on the exact one, but 400 something jobs to renovate, and then another probably 800 something when the hotel opens. Kenton Trot says, "Good morning, TDH. Imagine if that 50 million was used to provide funding for to 1,000 small businesses / entrepreneurs in Bermuda." And again, those are things where
food for thought.
Where we could have, who's to say you give that money to Bermudians? They couldn't have done something like that. But I could be wrong. I thought there may have been a shareholders plan or something in the hotel, the agreement. I don't know. There are details somewhere, folks. I encourage you to go read it. It's your money. I can't emphasize that enough. It's your money. Go read, find out where your money is going. Lee, over to you. Tell them.
Let's do this.
All righty.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and good morning and happy hump day to everyone that's tuned in with us this morning. I hope you all are having a great start to this slightly sunny morning. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now, in today's top stories, the police have confirmed the island's third and fourth road fatality deaths over the weekend as 51-year-old Wayne J. Augustus and 42-year-old Hannah Jimenez Flood. Mr. Augustus was seriously injured in a single vehicle road crash in Southampton near Church Bay at around 3:15 in the early hours of Saturday morning. Police say despite life-saving efforts at the scene, which continued as he was rushed to King Edward Memorial Hospital via ambulance, Mr. Augustus sadly later succumbed to his injuries. Ms. Jimenez Flood was seriously injured in a single vehicle road crash on Beacon Hill Road in Sands Parish around 10:35 p.m. last Friday. Now, life-saving attempts were performed as well on Ms. Jimenez Flood by emergency services and continued as she was rushed to hospital via ambulance. However, she sadly succumbed to her injuries a short while later. Now, a Bermuda Police Service family liaison officer has been appointed to both families to provide support to their loved ones at this time. Anyone with any relevant information to either of these fatal crashes are asked to get in contact with police by calling 211 or the main police telephone number at 295-0011. We here at the Daily Hour extend our sincerest condolences to both Mr. Augustus and Ms. Jimenez Flood's families. In other news, a police sergeant and his wife appeared in magistrate's court yesterday, accused of harassment of a former police commissioner of police and the former head of police discipline. Now, 39-year-old Mark Monk was charged with using a phone to cause annoyance, inconvenience, or needless anxiety towards Stephen Corbishley between June 8th and July 19th last year. He was also accused of using a phone to harass Superintendent Gillian Murray, then head of the service's Professional Standards Department, between May 5th and August 27th last year. Mr. Monk was also charged with an attempted perversion of the course of justice by harassing investigating officers and falsely accusing them of perjury between June 9th and July 16th last year. His wife, Tricia Monk, who is also 39 years of age, was charged with the use of a phone to harass Superintendent Murray between May 22nd and July 14th last year. The Monks did not enter a plea as their defense counsel, Sarah Tucker, had not seen the evidence against her clients. Magistrate Maxanne Anderson adjourned the case until April 17th and released the pair, who are said to be from Sands Parish, on $2,000 bail each. She ordered them not to have any contact with the complainants. And as we touched on in earlier conversations, yes, sad news for some revelers as the BHW Limited team announced that the chapter of Bermuda Carnival that they had began back in 2015 has sadly now come to an end. Now, the founders released a statement on its Instagram page saying, quote, "As hard as it is to say goodbye and let things come to a graceful conclusion, it presents the space needed for a brilliant new hello," end quote. Now, this follows after a separate organization called Bermuda Mass Band Association announced that they will be launching a new carnival experience in Bermuda called Revel the Road on June 17th through 20th. And then BHW announced that they would be hosting Bermuda Carnival events on the exact same dates in June. However, BHW organizers said in their shocking statement that, quote, "As we all know and have lived through of late, life and circumstances can and do evolve, which inevitably means that change must occur. And for the team, a necessary but difficult decision had to be made," end quote. Now, the news caused mass confusion on social media yesterday, with many thinking Bermuda Carnival had been canceled altogether. However, the record was quickly set straight by DJ and music producer Rusty G, who took to his own social media platform to thank the BHW team for their efforts over the last 5 years, and then explained that Bermuda is still welcoming carnival gurus to travel to the island, purchase costumes, and enjoy the new experience, which will go ahead still. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 67 and a low near 59 degrees. It will be a cool and breezy day ahead with sunny breaks becoming longer in the afternoon. Now, skies become mostly clear as the evening progresses. The cool breeze will gradually ease as high pressure builds in from the west and centers over us on Thursday, with bright skies and warming temperatures towards the end of the week. Now, winds will return on Friday in advance of a wet, cold front expected to pass over us on Saturday. So you might want to break out the rain gear and umbrellas again on the weekend. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Lee. So, Carnival.
People were going crazy yesterday.
I'm telling you, the internet was in shambles.
Carnival, yeah. You know,
spit it out.
Say it for you.
It's a hot mess.
I know.
I'll say
Never
this.
seen him lost for words like this. Like, this is actually a monumental moment.
I'll say this much. I am extremely proud of the work that BHW Limited did in bringing and ensuring that it got started. I think Bermuda needed it. Truthfully, I don't think anyone is happier than the Premier David Byrd and the Bermuda government that Carnival is happening. A great distraction from the job that they're doing, maybe. But that said, I look at people like Rusty G, and he didn't have to make that statement. But I think where BHW, and I will say this to Jason, I think they got it wrong saying that Carnival's canceled. Right now, Bermuda needs all the people it can get. And I think by sending that message, people seeing that out throughout the world, thinking, oh, there's nothing happening in Bermuda. I think that's unfortunate, unfair. And my hope, like I said about the brothers from the Oscars the other night, is Auntie O probably going to sit down with them, have a talk, make some money. I really hope that all parties can literally just come together, hash it out, and Bermuda can benefit in the end. At the end of the day, sometimes we start things, but it's others that take them over and take them to another level. Or we're not all gonna be there from start to end. Like it just doesn't work like that. So I think that they can be proud of what they began, but now it's time to evolve to another space and let's grow from there. Let's be adults about it. No slapping, no spitting, no fighting. Sherry, give us a video.
and thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Sherry.
I was saying, and thank you for always giving me a great birthday weekend, I must say. So,
yeah,
it's been good.
Yeah, and definitely enjoyed it over the last couple years. Like, it's been an amazing experience to actually be able to, have that fun in and on our own shores. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, today is Mental Health Day. Differently. We often joke about, people being bipolar, but today is World Bipolar Day, and it falls on the birthday of the Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh, one of the most influential artists in the history of the Western art. His creativity was paralleled with his mental illness, bipolar disorder. So what we're doing today is Bipolar Day educates and promotes the spread of information on bipolar disorder through international collaborative efforts. So
I have a cousin that actually works at Maui, and I want to say shout out to her this morning because she's an occupational therapist, a young occupational therapist, and she has been moving the needle over there. So happy Mental Health Day to you.
And to everyone, I think my sister's in that space as well. What is and forgive me, what does bipolar mean? Is it like multiple personalities?
No, so bipolar, you have either extreme highs or extreme lows that can affect your daily living. So you're either severely depressed, can't get out of bed, can't shower, can't do anything, or you're elated and you're running around the house, either shopping, gambling, cleaning, eating. It's
two extremes, right?
It's two extremes, and it interrupts just your regular day moving forward.
And I ask because I've heard the term used in such mean ways, like, oh, shut up, you bipolar, you know what I'm saying? And I've never understood. Like, I understood what like schizophrenia was because I read about that due to a certain case I was following. But it's interesting to hear the actual meaning versus when people are using it to be derogatory and disrespectful and outright mean to others. And
real quick, and that's why people say Bermuda's weather is bipolar. It's up and down. You're either hot or you're cold, or you're, that kind of thing.
Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Learning something new every day, folks. Lee, thank you so much. No short jokes today. We love it. You like that.
We'll leave you alone.
Let me let her go before I get one, folks. Later, Lisa.
Bye, Lee.
Bye, guys.
All right, folks, we are proud to welcome back after our hiatus our movement moment specialist, Tamara Richardson. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with her in a bit.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors, and not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Most of us acknowledge that there's something special about organic food. To be sure, organically grown foods are cleaner and devoid of toxic pesticides, genetic modification, antibiotics, and growth hormones. And reports that the flavors of these foods are accordingly bolder and more authentic surely resonate with lovers of good eats. Field Day is a producer of organics who deliver on these promises and ingeniously add affordability to the mix. Good news for us thrifty consumers. We're featuring Field Day Organic Grade A Maple Syrup. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All righty, welcome back to the big show. She is Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's and People's Pharmacy. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. We've got Tamara Richardson. Tams is back. She is back. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Good morning. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Jamal.
Good morning, Tom.
I was talking to my Eddie last night, and he said, "Who's on tomorrow?" I said, "Tamara." He goes, "I like her. Where's she been?" I'm like, "No, yeah." But it's good to have you back, Tamara. It's good. I know you've been traveling.
I have been traveling. I wear many hats, so I've also had a few other hats on. 2022 has been quite a year so far. So, but I'm here now.
Yes. But I think in respect to the movement moment, I think that you live it, and I think I want to highlight that you live the things that we've talked about over the last year, and that's important. So. Happy to have you back, but today we're talking about aging gracefully, and I think this is such an important conversation for so many reasons. There are people that fear getting old. There are people that fear looking different, feeling different as we get older. Aging gracefully, though, what exactly does it mean to you?
So aging gracefully, to me, definitely does not have anything to do with looks. When I think about aging gracefully, I think about my 100-year-old aunt. People in the eastern end of the island would know exactly who I'm talking about, who still lives independently, still enjoys all the best parts of life, and still has the capacity to entertain the entire family with stories of the history of our family. So everyone's path in life is unique and different. So aging gracefully will mean different things to different people. But when I look at her, I definitely look at a role model when it comes to how to age and how to get the best out of every single day of her 100 years of living. So
that's a good inning. Honestly, that is a good inning.
Very good one.
I would love to be a fly on the wall conversations with her as to how
you would need your bleep button, but yes.
Love it.
I love how they speak their minds.
Yes.
The consequences a bit different when you get to that age. Obviously, men and women, and I'm got to be careful when I speak on this. I almost got in trouble earlier, but obviously men and women age differently. We go through different things physically, mentally, emotionally. But how important is health and wellness for women versus men as we age?
let me take a breather on that one. men and Men and women certainly do age differently, but ultimately all of us want to age. We're all very afraid to admit that we are aging, but the alternative is definitely not something I would choose. So I think we need to get a little bit more honest about what we go through as we age. I myself, in a 2 weeks time, 46-year-old woman, definitely had no clue what was in store at this point in life. There are many women who don't experience what I've experienced. So I think it's just important that many of us are honest about the fact that we are changing, are honest about the fact that some of the things we once did, we can no longer do and jump up and be as productive and as energetic as we were when we were perhaps younger. Men, I think, have to perhaps be a little bit more proactive about getting certain checkups, being more open to admitting when they have bumps and lumps and growths and pains and not ignoring it until they're almost in so much pain they can't do anything about it. And I think women have to, as we age, accept that we can't do everything for everybody until we take care of ourselves. So in that respect, I think men and women are slightly different. But like I said, as individuals, we all will age differently, and we all need to be in tune with our own selves.
Indeed.
Well,
Girl,
sorry,
that's how I feel this morning.
I had to, when we had age concern one, and they was like, you should be starting this at 50, and I was like, oh my God. But
some
also,
of us need to start at 40.
But also, when I see this hairline, I almost, want to cringe. The first time I saw a gray hair, I thought something was my hair, and I kept doing this. And I was like, oh my God, it really is there. So when we think about growing old, we automatically think about our looks. And I think I look dang good for 47. But
You go, girl.
what other important areas should we be honing in on when we are thinking about growing old gracefully?
So there's a lot of talk right now about our economy and how expensive it is to live in Bermuda. So that always brings up the cost of healthcare. My goal with Movement Moment was to focus on the parts of healthcare that don't cost a thing. In some areas, it does cost something if you need a supplement or something from people's pharmacy. But ultimately, I like to highlight the things that the inputs into our wellness program that come for free. So there's, no matter which path you follow health-wise, whether it's Ayurvedic, whether it's Western, whether it's Eastern, there are some things that are just universally important for good health. So when I speak about those universal things, it's things like the sun, the importance of us going out in the sun every day, making sure sunlight hits our eyes early in the morning to help our circadian rhythms, making sure you get good sunlight daily or a good vitamin D supplement. Movement. There's a reason why I call it the movement moment. Us moving. My 100-year-old aunt would not be able to walk unaided if she didn't her entire life move, right? You have to get up from your desk and move and use your joints. Otherwise, if you don't use it, you lose it. Things like the breath. The breath is free. We do not understand the power of the breath, so we don't understand how important it is to harness it and make that a part of your wellness and health plan and program. A lot of people through yoga will do it. But like I said, the breath is free, and you can YouTube different ways of how you can use your breath to heal yourself. Other examples are sleep. If you don't get enough sleep, it's going to be very difficult to maintain health, especially as you age. And then coming up soon is going to be cannabis. Huge discussions about that. Many of the discussions, unfortunately, center around the recreational side of cannabis. It's my opinion that we have to get very serious very soon about the medicinal uses of cannabis and how important they can be to a person's health as they age. So those are just some of the tools that I find that the more I focus on them, the easier my path is through aging, and the more I can live a quality life
Yes, definitely. And as we spoke about what today is, it's World Bipolar Day, right? And when we talk about our mental health, how important is that in maintaining our mental health when we think about growing old gracefully?
Every single thing I just listed is also, it's important for your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. There are so many people right now, especially after COVID, who are struggling with their mental health. Um, and a lot of them also coincidentally are struggling with insomnia. They haven't been outside. So how much of their mental struggles are as a result of not getting good
Mm,
sleep, not getting quality time in the sun? Now, I'm not saying that's going to solve all your problems, but there are a lot of people who go to the doctor, who come to the pharmacy to get antidepressants, anti-anxiety medicine. It doesn't work for them. They
mm.
need some other tools in their arsenal. And so I'm saying don't discount some things that are as simple as sun, sleep, eating the rainbow, which I forgot to address. You know, your diet can sometimes make all the difference to not just your physical health, but your mental health as well. And then, you
Tamra,
know what? Laughter. My aunt, she's 100. She has a sister who's 94 she talks to. We just buried her brother who was about to be 105. I have never been around them without them sharing laughter
mm,
among each other. So these are a lot of things we take for granted, but they're so important. And a lot of people over these past 2 years, especially with COVID, they haven't laughed very much. They haven't been
yeah,
outside. They've been very isolated. So we need to
yeah.
start getting back to some of the fundamentals of what it takes to live a quality, healthy life.
Mm.
You spoke a little bit earlier about the tips in regards to growing and gracefully sleep, eating well, exercise, and sun. How important is it to be consistent, and how early should we start? Like, should I be sunbathing? Should I be run up and down steps? Like, how, like, what's my time frame? Like,
Consistency and discipline. I mean, that is the struggle of us the world over. It is so
listen,
easy to sign up to the gym and drop this 30 pounds, but it is very difficult to maintain that over, the rest of your life.
mhm.
Um, Start where you are, do what you can. If you can afford, the deluxe mega package at the gym, then just get up and walk. Park your car like Jamal 2 miles from workout and walk in. Get a watch that can tell you your steps, or use your telephone and just try every day to hit more and more steps, or to get to those 10,000 steps. I myself have to do that. But what I would say is, if you are younger than 45, start now, because once you hit 45, all the things that you neglected, all the
Uh,
parts of your body that you taxed, yes, you will pay for you will pay for not investing in your health earlier. So start as soon as you can, but don't despair if you're 55 and you haven't done anything. It's better to start now and
I
get.
was in I went to a new barber shop. I'm listening attentively, and I went to a new barber shop about 3 weeks ago, and barber, he was, I believe, a Dominican guy, and in Palm Beach County, where I live, it's a very elderly population. It's where retirees come, 55 plus communities. So the barber shop, there were elderly men coming in and out. And so the barber said to me, he says, he's watching this gentleman, and as the other barber tried to help him up. And he said to me, he says, yeah, man, that's why I stopped drinking. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, that gentleman's not as old as you think. And I said, oh, really? I just took it that he was an elderly man. He said, look, man, so many things that we go through later on in life are because of what we done early on in our life. And I don't really discuss beyond you all, because you're family, that I don't drink or stuff like that, because we all have vices. I eat a lot of junk food, French fries. I mean, come on, I eat them every day. But I say that because I think we're not as conscious about a lot of the things that we do today and how much they can impact us. Just this morning, you mentioned in Tamara just now steps, and Bud is not being able to do anything. this morning I said, you know what? I made up my mind I was going to run 2 miles because I hadn't run 2 miles in probably a month or so, right? And 2 miles I ran this morning were very different from the 2 miles I ran in November. you know, it's not the same, right? Lately, I've been doing my evening walks to kind of get myself mentally back. We go through different things. It could be death and family, and those things set us back. It could be something that's happening at work. They set us back. And I've made up my mind over the last couple of weeks. I want to personally take care of myself in this manner. I want to personally do this better. And so yesterday I hit 13,000 steps. And last year, this time I was doing that regularly. Right. But over the last 3 months, and I don't want to sit here and say it's because of my mom's death. I don't want to, because it could be. It really could be that I just said, let me fall back or whatnot. But so many things you said today have had me thinking, like, wow, why did I stop doing this? Why haven't I done that? It's so much easier if I do it or whatnot. I don't know. I mentally, I don't know what went on with me.
Let me just caveat all of this by saying it's very hard to be consistent when you're in pain, whether that's physical pain or emotional pain. So that's why I say don't beat yourself up and start where you are. Even if you've stopped and you've gotten off track, your body still remembers. You just need to remind it, and it's gonna hurt for a day or two or maybe a week. But you will bounce back a lot quicker than you think. I myself have not had the best year. And so, which is another reason for the hiatus or whatever we call it. Sometimes we do have to just simplify things so that we can find the energy to pour into ourselves. So I would encourage you to take it slow. Don't beat yourself up. Celebrate the 13,000 steps you did today. Don't worry if you were doing 20,000, a year ago. You'll probably be doing 25,000 soon if you can find the energy to be consistent.
And that's important, honestly, because I think I was there, like, why am I not doing this? Why am I not? And truthfully, it's Larry Marshall Jr. He would monitor me before and be like, hey, pick it up a bit. And I think he is even falling back, just being more understanding, feeling like hey, he's probably recognized, oh, he stopped around this time. Let me ease him up. But again, mentally, I didn't know what I was going through, where I fell back. But this conversation is so helpful for me because you've made me say maybe my body is changing on me and I'm trying to respect it, or maybe mentally I'm respecting how I feel.
Maybe you need some rest and some time to heal emotionally, and so your body had to divert some resources to that as opposed to physical activity. Right now physically you might be okay, but mentally you need some more tools. And that's okay.
You needed a break, and that's it. Yeah, you need a break.
I know for a fact I'm at that point.
I mean, I'm 47, and Jamal gave me a break from him yesterday, and look how I just look bright right now.
Sherry, I don't blame you. Leave it to the youngsters 1 or 2 days a week. I know Sancho's a little younger, so.
Or the short people.
Just catching you up this week. Don't worry. But it's important, and I want to touch on Sherry's point because we'll make this public. So the reason we're taking this time is in December, Leanna, Sherry, and I had a conversation, and we were burnt out. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
We were going every day. And one of the things I said to them, and Sherry, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is like, if we're burning ourselves out to do this show every morning, it's not going to be fun for us. And if it's not fun for us, the audience is not benefiting. So I said to them that what we're going to do is we're going to take some breaks. We're going to bring some additional people on so that we can rotate and just ensure that it doesn't interrupt what we try to give the audience every day, which is conversations like this that are helpful, that can help each and every person in some way. If it's not helping you, then you can take the information and help someone else. But if we were too tired to do this in our best form, then we just didn't believe it would benefit anyone. And I want to take it to Tamara's point that no, she hasn't been here for a while, but folks, sometimes that's a great thing. That's a great thing that people have to recharge. There are other things that people have to do. And truthfully, we could have been rerunning some of her movement moments, which to me are probably one of the best parts of the show that we've done. I mean, the way that people reached out to us over the last few months asking about it told me the impact that this segment has had on them. So I'm grateful. Whether you come once a year, once a quarter, I'm grateful for the conversations that you do give us, because it really ties into the purpose of why this show exists. So thank you for that, Tamara.
Absolutely welcome. And I will definitely be back more regularly. But just like you, I like to make sure that I bring a quality segment to people. So if I can't show up as my best, sometimes it's best just to, like you said, encourage people to scroll back, go to my Instagram page. All of the information is still there. But today, I just want to make sure I remind everyone, for free, there are some simple things you can do to stay healthy, stay well until I return next time. Movement, sun, sleep, talk to your people's pharmacist about what supplements you need, eat the rainbow, and laugh with your family and friends.
And I'm going to add to that, Tamara, and if you need extra person to speak to, contact a therapist or a counselor of some sort as well.
Absolutely.
Tamara Richardson, folks, thank you so much, Tams. Really appreciate you and can't wait to have you back.
Great to be here. Have a great day, everybody. Take care of yourselves mentally, physically, and emotionally. Talk soon.
All righty, folks. If you appreciated that conversation with Tamara, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. No, it's just Sherry. I woke up this morning and I honestly said to myself, I'm going to try to go 2 miles. I haven't, think about it. I went to the gym regularly, like literally regularly, at least 4 times a week up until probably this November when my mom told me, it pretty much terminal at that point. Everything Tamara's speaking of, it's not just for women. It's not just certain people. Like we all go through this. For me, I don't have a therapist that I go to kind of know, this is probably why I fell back. This is the reason that you're probably not interested in doing it. But there are certain things, and I'm so thankful, I'm grateful for your background, the conversations and the level of conversation you're able to have on these kind of things. But also, Tamara, the fact that people consistently hit us up asking where she is, because I think it's nothing like getting good free information. Good,
absolutely,
possible information. But let's take a break. We'll come back, wrap it up, and Sherry, as nice as I'm probably being to you right now, you know what time it is.
Come with it, Jamal.
All right, we'll be right back. Stick with it.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
Alrighty. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, Linda's. Again, thank you to Tamara Richardson. If you enjoyed that conversation, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations with people, carry these conversations with you. Trust me, it's better than talking about politics every day. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sherry, are you ready?
I am.
All right. It's music today. Help her out, folks. Help her out. Help her out. Which English singer released Shape of You in 2017?
Ed Sheeran.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
My little ginger snap he is.
She got it one time. Look, hey, folks, I think she's getting better. Look, she's got all this competition out there. She's got Santi and Larry out there. She's like, nah, bruh.
Nah, look.
Nah, it's not happening. Sancho, she got it one time, Sancho. I don't know. Yeah, it was Ed Sheeran. I thought you might have
Ed
said
Sheeran.
Sam Smith.
Mm-mm.
Ed
I know
Sheeran.
my ginger snap, my little red head. I
All
know
right,
him.
all right. Ed Sheeran, watch out. Don't be in the same place as Sherry. Don't do it.
Didn't anybody get it, or was I too fast, or I'm saying too much right now?
Oh no, nobody got it. You were way too fast for them. But yeah,
What?
miracles happen once in a while.
Yeah, that erases all last week. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, miracles. But hey, let's wrap it up. What are your final thoughts on today's show?
Well, let me talk about taxpayers' money used for private or given to private entities. I say again, transparency at the forefront, and let's just be honest about what it is that the money is being used for, and stop using jobs as a way to get us to buy in. As far as Tamara, I love the conversation. Aging gracefully more than just your looks is very important. So there's tips about sleep, eating the rainbow, exercising, getting the sun definitely is something that everyone should do now. I might be behind the 8 ball, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
I don't look it though, so I'm fine with it.
I say this much regards to the government giving public money to private entities. I'm putting it on the people. Do your research, find out where your money is going, find out how you're benefiting from it. And if you're okay with all of it, then sit back and enjoy the ride. If you're not, hey, stand up, say something. As far as Tamara, honestly, grateful that she has continuously taken the time to do this, to have these conversations, and really hope that somewhere, some way, somehow, people are benefiting from the information that is being discussed and shared. Daily Inspiration, Sherry, what you got for us?
If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change the way you think about it. Mary Agobert.
Oh, I actually like that one. That was pretty cool. All righty. Well, it's that time. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Van Poel. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, make it a safe and great day. My cup is empty, but cheers anyway.